Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Foothill Paint Fabrication. Well, we're taking a quick break from working on the GTO to make some chassis stands or adjustable jack stands, whatever you want to call it, out of some old janky jack stands I've had laying around forever, and some dumbbells I bought off of Amazon for like $16 for the adjustable part. So let's jump in here, take a look at what I got. I scrounged up a bunch of junk I had laying around and see if we can build these things. All right, as some of you may know, I have got Ruby up on the rotisserie, and it's just supported on each end, just like they are. And I need to crawl inside the car a lot to, get it prepped for epoxy. So I don't want to be crawling around in there without some support in the middle. And so what I've been doing is just this setup right here, a couple of blocks, a little shim in there just to get it to the right height. So when the car lowers all the way down on the rotisserie, it hits just right, so it's supporting it evenly. Not to mention, you guys see out there, the chassis is waiting to be worked on. So I plan on doing some strengthening to that and some other stuff. And my floor, I'm going to do the chassis work in my garage. It is not flat, it's not level. So I'd like to be able to have some sort of adjustable chassis stands that I can crank up and down and get the chassis perfectly level all four corners. So that's why we're building these today. So what I have here is, like I said, a dumbbell from Amazon, 16 bucks, maybe 17 with, $16.99, I don't know. But these have extra long threads. This is some sort of Acme thread. It's not the greatest. I certainly wouldn't put a lot of weight on these things, but for what I'm doing, it's gonna be fine. I have real jack stands to hold up a car if I'm crawling around underneath it. But we're gonna use these parts for the adjusting nut, and we'll use this portion right here for the rod that's gonna go up. I've got some plates, I got some big washers here. I found some old pipe laying around that slips over this, and of course the old jack stand. So let's figure out what we need to do and just get after it. All right, my plan is to just use the jack stand top just like this. We're gonna cut a hole in here. We're gonna drop a piece of tube down inside here to help stabilize the shaft, and then we're just gonna weld that on there, and that'll basically be it. Then we'll chop off the threads off the dumbbell, and we'll weld on a big fat washer. I got this thicker plate too we can weld on. I was gonna make yokes similar to these, but I'm thinking I might wanna clamp this to the frame or tack weld that to the frame. So I think these are gonna be a lot more useful, and if it doesn't work out, I can always weld something onto them. I've got some pipe here. I got some old rebar to weld onto here for like ears to give me a little leverage to crank it up and down. And basically that's it. And like I said, two of these were like 16, 17 bucks with these nuts. And I ordered the ones, these are 24 inches, so it gave extra thread. So yeah, let's just go ahead and cut this off. I think I'll cut it off on the other side of this bump right here and see if we can get these washers to slide right over that, weld it on, and that part will be done. All right, okay, that's gonna work out pretty good. The washer fits right on there. I can run a bead around in here to hold that in place. Make sure that's ground smooth, and we should be good. Now we need to figure out the tube length for jack stands. So I don't mind blocking the first hole, but I mean, I use these a lot. You can tell they're orange and different colors to hold up cars while I'm painting. I just have the wheels off so I can paint the wheel wells. So I think something about like that, I think that's like 2 3/4 inch long, and that'll just stabilize that shaft down inside there. So let me cut some of these up 2 3/4 inch long. I've got this piece of galvanized to 1 inch as well. It should work. And then let me knock out 4 of these real quick, and then we're gonna have to move over and find a hole saw to cut this hole out. Okay, I found a hole saw that's just slightly smaller. I figure it's gonna wobble a little bit, and if not, we can take the bird tool and open up the tops of the jack stands here. The problem is there's a hole in all 4 of them, and it's way too big. This thing's gonna wobble everywhere. So I just cut piece of, I don't know what that is, 14 gauge. And I'm just gonna tack that on there. Just like that, drill a hole in the center of it. That'll hold it centered. We can drill these out. So let me knock that out real quick and move over to the drill press. All right, let's get these drilled out. Well, this setup's a little janky, but it's the best way that I could figure to hold it. I'll use some channel locks to keep it from spinning. And after I welded all those tabs on, I realized I have a step bit that's big enough to bore that hole. It would have been a piece of cake, but oh well, I already got all those welded on. We'll give this a shot first. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. It went pretty easy. All right, 3 more to go, and we'll weld those tubes in. Okay, I just got a magnet on here to hold that tube as we drop it in to get it tacked. It's funny, it says 8,000 pounds max capacity. I couldn't imagine putting 4 tons on these kind of lightweight jack stands. So we're just going to have that magnet hold that just like that, or not. Try that again. It's a little delicate. Maybe we'll try 2 magnets. There we go. All right, I'm going to get a little tack on this, just a tack, and then we'll bend that tube to make sure it's nice and straight. And those magnets just screw up the arc so badly. Crazy. All right, looking down the hole, it looks like it's kind of straight, but not straight enough. So I'm just going to put the shaft in here, bend it around a little bit till it looks right, and we'll get some more tacks on this thing. Okay, that looks pretty straight. I'm going to go ahead and get all 4 of them tacked up, and then we'll set up to do full welds. Okay, looks like we got them all in there pretty straight. So we'll get these tubes welded in. The galvanized stinks. All right, I got 3 more to go, and this part will be done. All right, I got them sanded pretty smooth, so this will spin on there real nice. I'm going to take the step bit here and clean up those welds on the inside. Make sure there's no burr or anything. Works good. Now we need to move on to making these pieces here, which would be pretty much just putting the washer on there and welding it on. These plates here, I think we're just going to try to center it up and weld it from the underside. I don't see any reason to make it more complicated than it needs to be. Yeah, looks pretty straight to me. All right, I'm going to put a couple underneath here too, because I'm going to grind that flat. All right, looks pretty good. Just got to grind it smooth. That one's done. All right, I think that'll work. All right, the last thing to do is add some ears to these nuts, just in case. So I don't, if I can't reach up in there, or if I got a little weight on it, give me a little leverage just by hand. So I got this old rebar right here. I'm thinking about, I don't know, 1.5 inches long, and just weld them right on there. So let me cut 8 of these up real quick, round over one end, and then we'll get those welded on. All right, we got them all made up. Just rounded off the ends a little bit, and that's it. Let's just go ahead and weld these on. All right, 3 more to go. We are done. Okay, let's get these things put together here. Looks like it's going to work out pretty good. Yeah, real nice. Look at that, huh? 16 bucks, not a bad deal. All right, I'm going to put the other two together, and we're going to test these out underneath the car right now. All right, let's try this out. Got a nice little flat spot right here where the frame and the body come together. There we go. Oh yeah, that works out really good. Nice and solid. And it's so much easier than, blocks of wood and trying to lower the car down and get the right amount of weight on in the middle here so I can crawl around without worrying about this thing sagging in the middle. But this is working out really good. Some old janky jack stands I had laying around, and $16 worth of stuff off Amazon. And we've got chassis stands or adjustable jack stands, whatever you want to call them, but these are going to work out great. All right, guys, that's going to wrap this one up on making our own chassis stands or infinitely adjustable jack stands. Really just some old jack stands I had laying around, rarely use them. Usually when I'm painting a car, they're underneath. They got paint all over them. I really don't care. And the good thing about this setup is you want to use them for that or anything else, you just pull this out and it's still good as it was before. So, and this is going to really help me out when I'm doing the chassis for Ruby and when I have it on the rotisserie and I need to climb in there and do a lot of messing around. I don't want to add extra weight and have it, pulling on the rotisserie, but this is going to work out great. We've got $16, $17 in some cheapo dumbbells from Amazon, some scrap I had laying around, and these old jack stands, and we've got these things set up. So I'm pretty happy to get this knocked out. Thanks for joining me here at Foothill Paint and Fabrication. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Mash that bell and drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. We'll see you on the next one.